a few days ago, a game that has been popular with the Linux gaming community, Rocket League, decided to drop support for Mac and Linux because of the low market share of these platforms. And of course, the Linux subreddits got crazy about it. But, I am the guy who already made a video about bashing people for clinging to Adobe products and trying to convince my viewers not to be enslaved to Adobe. So I guess it is time for some more controversial opinions, but now on the topic of gaming. So this was one of the posts that appeared on the Linux Master Race Reddit thread, and well, there is this kind of controversy, I guess, that people don't understand why is it so expensive to port games to Linux that it's not worth for this very small player base. Well, these are companies that are trying to make money by selling you software licenses, and so they of course will put in their money, put their investment in where they can have a good return on investment. And well, some people are even putting it in more bluntly that no one uses Linux, so we should not expect these big development companies, game developer companies, game studios to cater to a very small audience. And then of course there are the Linux nerds who try to defend this operating system that, well, this is as good as an operating system as Windows, which is of course true. And so the game developers should be developing for Linux because Linux is good, and if they would develop more games for Linux, then probably more gamers would be playing on Linux. And so also even our favorite Linux gamer Gardener Bryant got so upset about this news that he made this video a few days back while being totally sick. And I have to tell you that I almost 100% agree with what he is saying. So here I prepared a slideshow about my thoughts on this issue. So first of all, we have learned from this whole Rocket League debacle that proprietary games have obvious downsides. Like, even if you trust the developer can be bought out by a big production company, a big game developer company, and well, they might change their ways, and once they stop giving you access to the game on Linux, then there is not much you can do about it because you only own the software license. And if you're lucky, maybe you can get a refund or something, but I would not count on that on the long term. And of course, the big game studios wish only to support Windows, and well, we can kind of understand that from the business point of view, and we kind of have to think about it. How big of a problem is this? Because basically we have our operating system which respects our privacy, which respects our computing freedoms, as the FSF, the Free Software Foundation, put it. The Linux operating system is an operating system we can kind of trust because it is open source. The code can be investigated. If there is any serious problem with it, we can, or someone at least, can find it and make it public and even suggest how to repair it. And well, the AAA games, if they don't want to make these AAA games for Linux, they only make it for Windows, then well, you have to make the obvious choice whether you keep playing these games on an operating system that does not respect your privacy and freedoms, or you compromise about, well, playing the games. And well, we also have to consider that when we are giving money to these big game studios, we are funding their mistreatment of us and their own staff, their own employees. And so basically what I mean by this, so these companies, they don't really care about giving you a good gaming experience. What they are giving you is, well, Denovo, which is a very costly on your hardware. This is a digital rights management software and anti-piracy measure that basically wastes a lot of your computer's resources so that people cannot get the game without purchasing the license. And well, the game studios pay a lot of money to employ these technologies, makes their games slower, and well, a lot of times the crackers, the pirates, can basically successfully remove these measures from the game, of course illegally, but very fast. And after they did that, they can publish it on torrent and people can pirate the game, and people who pirate the game will actually have a better performance than the people who spend money on buying that game. And so these technologies are very expensive, which means that this is on the negative side of the business equation for the game studios. And well, the other negative side, which they have to pay money, is of course their resources, which is programmers. And well, I suggest you to watch this video by Joshua Fluke, the recording of 800 people being fired from a game development studio. So if you like to read, then you can read up on the crunch, which is basically when the game developers are forced because legally they cannot be forced, but well, you know, they can tell you that your 3-month contract won't be renewed if you don't do the crunch, which means the 60-hour work week. Or from little back in the past, there was this EA Spouse live journal, which is a Electronic Arts developer's wife, put out some of her experience with her husband is being unable to participate in the family events because of how the game developer company, how the game development business basically removed him from his family. And what we have to know is that game dev is very competitive, which means there are a lot of people who want to get in, so the companies can always get the lowest salaries out of people to put out these titles. And of course everyone knows about the loot boxes, which are additional means to extract money from their customers. There are those pre-orders when they put out like this very nice demo videos and make people pre-order the game before anything is done. And well, of course the customers who like the videos pay the money, and then they get very sad when they see what the game they get. And of course the DLC is the paid DLC mania, which means basically the game when it is first published, it's not even totally ready to play. And so we are paying for that, and we are, with that money, if you are buying these games, then you are of course perpetuating these business practices. So what can we do about it? Is of course we can change our gaming habits, because let's face it, playing computer games is entertainment. It is kind of a waste of time. It is the kind of entertainment that you should not be too much invested in, I think. So, you know, it is like movies or watching TV shows. There is a certain amount of your money that you should want to sacrifice for it. And, you know, I don't think that basically the free and open source games, the liberated games, are that bad. Some people say that they are laughable. On Reddit I heard that. And well, yeah, probably, and there is definitely a lot less variety than, you know, than the proprietary games that are out there. But I think that the way that these games are developed, they are developed by the community and for the community. They are not extracting money from their customers. They are asking for support, and they don't do all those bad business practices that we should not be supporting anyways. So my conclusion is that we should all promote liberated game development. So if you can code and you have a good idea for a game, let's join the team and develop the game together. Or you can produce artwork for the games, you can produce 3D models for games, you can write story arcs for story-driven games. Or if you have no talent at all, you can also, of course, give them money, give them your monetary support. And you can just play those games and you can popularize them, I think. And this is the point where Gardner Bryant and I are 100% on the same page. Let's start working on our own free and open source games, because GPL. So once someone makes a good game engine under the GPL license, anyone can do it. So you don't have to start from zero. You don't have to pay horrendously high licensing fees for game engines. We can do it for free. We can, entertainment. Games are entertainment, and probably making our own games as a community is also a kind of entertainment. So I will do my part by producing more content based on these free and open source liberated games, and I already have one out in what I was talking about a few of these games, and I already have another video in production that will be out soon about another liberated game. And so let's do something about promoting this kind of gaming culture. And so this was my controversial opinion on computer games on Linux and AAA games and game development in general. If you would like to see more liberated software and Linux related content, then subscribe to this channel. If you enjoyed this video, then give us a thumbs up and comment your controversial opinions about gaming on Linux down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.